Is Disney's approach with the Galactic Starcruiser all wrong? Should they be basically recreating things from the movie so fans can experience that? We're going to talk about all of that up next. Welcome aboard, everybody, to another episode of Orange Grove 55. I want to thank you all so much for joining me today, and our good friend Grogu here also thanks you for joining us. So in this video, I want to discuss the Galactic Starcruiser. There's been a lot more material and information coming out in regards to this new experience coming out from Disney, this very expensive experience, mind you. So this video was released, what was this? This was like a couple of days ago, kind of showcasing this new experience. And there was this singer that came out, right? It was this in-universe kind of singer where she's kind of singing while the guests are kind of like having a few drinks and just kind of enjoying themselves. And I've seen a lot of people kind of criticize this, saying that it would be much better if Disney just gave us the Mos Eisley Cantina band, Alien band, and things like that, right? I have to push back on that a little bit. Okay. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the Galactic Starcruiser, but not for that reason. Not for that reason. Look, there has been sort of this misconception ever since Universal created Wizarding World, where Universal really did recreate the movies brick by brick. It was really like a replica of what you saw in the films. And I feel like there's been kind of this narrative ever since Universal did Wizarding World that everything based on a franchise needs to basically be recreations of what you saw in the films, literally. But the problem with that is that Disney and more specifically Imagineering hasn't really taken that approach most of the time, and especially with Lucasfilm. And it's not a new thing. Look, you go back to Star Tours, okay? Most of the stuff in Star Tours is new material created by Imagineering and George Lucas, whether it be Captain Rex, your pilot, whether it be the Star Speeder, you're the ship that you're sitting in during the experience. Much of that stuff is new, and it takes place, yes, in the Star Wars universe, but you're not like Luke Skywalker isn't your pilot. You're not sitting in an X-Wing, right? It's really an Imagineering created experience, but in that Star Wars universe. You look at another attraction from the mid-90s, which is Indiana Jones Adventure. Again, they didn't recreate the Temple of Doom. No. Imagineering created their own temple, the Temple of the Forbidden Eye. And while there's elements within the attraction that will remind you of the films, it's not an exact replica of the films, right? So Imagineering has been doing this for a very long time. They continued that tradition with Batu, right? It's Star Wars, but it's a new thing created by Imagineering, and they're continuing that now with the Starcruiser. I don't think, and this is just my humble opinion, I don't think you need to recreate every single experience in the films for it to feel like Star Wars or for it to be successful. We've seen it with Star Tours and with Indiana Jones that you don't need to do that. Now, my issue with the Starcruiser isn't the fact that they're not giving us the Cantina band from the original trilogy or anything like that. Or my issue isn't with Batu that they didn't recreate Tatooine or Coruscant. My issue is that a lot of it doesn't feel like Star Wars. The aesthetics is off. I can't pinpoint it. There are hallways and aesthetics and just things in that experience that just feel very generic sci-fi to me. And that's my problem. Okay. I don't personally need them to recreate brick by brick things from Tatooine and from the original movies and the original Cantina band and things like that. I don't need that. But what I do need from this experience is that it feels like a Star Wars experience. And a lot of it falls flat for me in that regard. Now, this little bar area actually looks pretty cool. This looks very Star Wars to me, but again, there are elements of this attraction, hotel, whatever you want to call it, that don't feel like Star Wars. It's very generic and very just kind of like some random sci-fi thing like that you'd see like on ABC, right? So that's the issue. So when I see a lot of fans come out and say, well, we needed the Cantina band, the Mos Eisley band, that's nonsense. You don't need that. Imagineering has a long storied history of taking franchises and creating their own stories and characters and being very successful with that, right? Like Captain Rex from Star Wars from Captain Rex from Star Tours is very Star Wars. He feels like a character you would see in that universe. He fits perfect. And even as DJ Rex, he's a very Star Wars-y character. Now, but George Lucas didn't put him in the original trilogy, right? You don't need you don't need everything lifted from the movie. Just because Universal did it doesn't mean that everything from here on out that's based on a franchise needs to be an exact replica and totally lifted and recreated into the physical world in the theme park. I just think it's nonsense. So again, the issues with the Galactic Starcruiser are not that they're not recreating things from the movie. It's just that the aesthetics and the energy doesn't feel like Star Wars. That's what we need. That's what they need to improve with this experience is the energy, the aesthetics. A lot of it is off. And I think you guys notice it too. I can't even pinpoint it. I can't even tell you exactly what it is. It just doesn't feel right. There's something off. But I want to hear from you guys. What do you feel about the Galactic Starcruiser? Do you agree with me that they don't need to recreate things from the movies, but they need to do a better job at creating that Star Wars energy and feel and aesthetics? Or do you disagree with me? Look, if you disagree with me, you got a home here on OG55. I love to hear from everybody, whether you agree or disagree with me. Just comment down below if you disagree with me. I would love to hear from you. Thank you all so much for watching. And as always, may the Force be with you. Bye-bye now.